The action item is to approve a revision to the long-range property management plan. This is the third revision. Originally, when we submitted the long-range property management plan, which was approved by the Oversight Board, to the Department of Finance, we categorized the 300 East Broadway parking lot as a government use, and we requested to transfer it to the city as government use. The Department of Finance rejected that designation and directed us to sell the property. We began the process to sell the property through an auction process, but the auction company ultimately declined to sell it because it was too low of an anticipated value. So the reason that the agent, in September of 2015, the Dissolution Act was revised to specifically allow these types of parking lots to be transferred over to the city as a government use property. So we're requesting to update the long-range property management plan to reassign that as a government use property. The two criteria to have a parking lot qualify to be under this designation: A, the property needs to be primarily used for public parking, and B, it needs to not make revenues in excess of reasonable maintenance costs. So this parking lot, since we acquired it many years ago, it's been used as a public parking lot. It provides parking for the post office across the street, as well as numerous buildings in the area, which were constructed long before our current parking standards. So they don't have parking to provide to their, the building users. So this is the parking lot's in high demand. It's definitely used as public parking and for nothing else. And we did a financial analysis. We attached a summary of it to the staff report, which indicates that the expenses to maintain the lot slightly exceed the revenue. So it does qualify as not making revenues in excess of maintenance costs. So with that, we request that you approve the revision, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Questions? Any more information needed?
I have a question. The rates that you're using for salaries it probably includes indirect overheads into that? Because you're using the rates that you charge outside agencies for your services, right?
You're talking about the salary rates on the spreadsheet for the cost for the parking lot?
Right.
I'm going to ask Tad to come up. He's the parking manager, and he prepared that spreadsheet, and he'll have more detailed information about the salary.
Good afternoon. The hourly rates are based off of the citywide fee schedule, which is adopted, and they did a whole study that includes all the direct overhead as well.
Yeah, and I understand where the rates are coming. I just know, is that appropriate to use as the analysis of if it's a revenue-generating operation or not? You understand what I'm saying? If you looked at the direct cost of it would be much different than the rates that are on your schedule. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not sure I'm clear on
Sure I do,
questions.
Mr. Nakasone. What we did try and do, though, was look at the cost, our cost of it. We could probably do it cheaper than anybody, and so these costs represent what we do, mixed into maintaining all of our parking lots. So I think it is the most conservative, and then when you look at revenue, that was direct revenue. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay.
Any further questions? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
I'll second. Board members Upgrind, Barry,
Yes.
McIntyre, Nakasone,
Yes.
Ochoa,
Yes.
Steiger, Chair Raggio.
Yes.
Next would be oral communications. There are no cards submitted at this time.
All right. And board members have any comments? I do believe we set a new record. If there's nothing further, then we're going to adjourn.
I could give us a brief update in terms of future meetings. I think we're still under the 15 minutes. Since our last meeting, the ROPS for the period of fiscal year 16 to 17 was approved, so we will receive the RPTTF distribution on June 2nd. And at this time, we don't anticipate any items for we don't have any agenda items that are set in stone yet for the next meeting, but if something comes up, we will send out the notice for that meeting.
Seeing as you lifted that rock, then if the city, we have to divest of the Maryland Avenue condominiums that are there, those little retail condos underneath the parking structure. If the city is going to buy those for the appraised value through the auction process, that doesn't change the long-range property management plan because it has to be divested anyway, or will there have to be a revision because it's the city looking to buy that property?
The long-range property management plan directs the sale of that property, and we can do a directed sale. We've done that with another property in the plan.
So we could do that. We're exploring ways, though, to see if it's advantageous to change the characterization to retain for redevelopment purposes. That's also a category where the city reimburses for the value, but there may be other benefits. So at a minimum, we could sell it as it currently is to the city, or there may be some other category that we come back and ask for.
And then it gets all parceled out to the taxing entities?
Correct.
So, okay.
Correct.
Further? Any further comment? Then we're adjourned.